heard guttural growls outside the cabin. Peering through the window, they saw a shadowy figure with glowing red eyes. Panic set in as the entity began circling the cabin, scratching at the walls and windows. The friends tried to escape, but the car wouldn't start. One by one, they were drawn into the woods by an unseen force. Only Clara survived, but she was found days later, catatonic and whispering Eliza's name over and over. In a small Midwest town, there lived a man named Henry who hadn't slept in over 30 years. Locals called him the Sleepless Man. Henry claimed that every time he closed his eyes, he would see horrifying visions of people he'd never met, but who seemed to be begging for help. One night he confided in a young journalist named Sarah. He showed her detailed sketches of the people from his visions and described their deaths in gruesome detail. Sarah was skeptical until she discovered that the names and descriptions matched cold cases from around the country. Determined to uncover the truth, Sarah asked Henry to attempt to sleep under her supervision. As he dozed off, his body convulsed violently, and he began muttering in a strange language. Suddenly, the room's temperature dropped, and the lights flickered. Henry's eyes snapped open, and he screamed, "They're coming!" The room filled with an otherworldly presence. Sarah fled in terror, but not before glimpsing ghostly figures emerging from Henry's body. The next morning, Henry was found dead, and Sarah's hair had turned completely white. To this day, the cold cases remain unsolved. Emma and her husband recently bought an old Victorian house in upstate New York. While cleaning the basement, they discovered a hidden room behind a false wall. Inside was an altar covered in dried blood, strange symbols carved into the stone, and a book bound in what looked like human skin. Against her better judgment, Emma opened the book and began to read aloud. The moment she spoke the words, the house trembled, and a deafening roar filled the air. Shadows began to move on their own, and a foul stench permeated the room. That night, Emma dreamed of a monstrous figure with elongated limbs and hollow eyes. When she woke up, she found the same symbols from the basement etched into her skin. Her husband tried to comfort her, but he soon fell ill and began wasting away. Desperate, Emma returned to the basement to destroy the book, but it was gone. In its place was a note that read, "You cannot escape the pact." Emma's husband passed away a week later, and she vanished without a trace. The house remains abandoned, and locals swear